Hello, and welcome to CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Andy Sajous. I'm the field CTO with AHEAD, and we're partnering with CDO Magazine in a series of interviews with today's data and technology leaders. Today, I have the pleasure with talking with Scott Harrison, Chief Data Officer at Parkland Hospital. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Great. From your shoes and as it pertains to data analytics, what's something you wish you'd known 2 years ago after living this journey?
I wish I would have paid more attention on how to integrate, instead of looking at integrating systems when they're needed for analytics or reporting. I would probably take a different approach and just integrate everything. And, because that's really where our bottlenecks happened is,
Sure.
When we had delays of getting products out to our consumers, which, in large part, we're having to make big decisions during the pandemic, the bottlenecks really happened when we had maybe old archaic systems that hadn't been deprecated yet. And so the data was just sitting there siloed. Had we taken the time to try to integrate those or find out that, hey, we can't integrate those, we maybe would have had a little better velocity at getting results from those systems. And when I say barrier, it maybe took an extra day or two, but, a day or two when you're dealing with the unknowns that were happening in the pandemic, we're really increasing the stress level, not just for the clinical leaders, but also for my team, that was really trying to do everything they could to get access at the data. So I would just say, rather than waiting until that system was needed, just get in there and integrate everything.
Yeah, that's good feedback. So obviously from everything that you've done up until this point, you talked about how, healthcare is crossing that chasm and we're at the precipice of population health. So I think ultimately, Scott, what excites you about the future of data?
I think it's so infant, and I see what an impact it's making right now. And I can't wait till we start learning more about what influences health outcomes of our community. And I think being able to understand and answer some of those questions outside of a traditional hospital encounter or clinical encounter, if you're going to an ambulatory setting, I think is important. And so being able to integrate some of those data attributes that tell a more broad picture, I think is going to be very key. And where I see that happening is in the wearables. I mean, you think about your smartwatches and your scales and all of the things that, we have access to now on our personal devices, by being able to integrate some of that information to our historical data that's stored in our big EMR systems, I think is going to be very key in telling us, hey, we've got a new therapy out that can treat this population. Who are those people? How do we engage with them? What kind of technologies are going to help them monitor their outcomes? And I think that's all in the palm of our hands right now. So I'm very, very eager to get more and more involvement in integrating some of those systems to help drive outcomes and really just, use it as a tool to help engage with our patients.
That's great. So Scott, I want to thank you for joining us today. I think you guys are doing some fascinating stuff at Parkland Hospital, and you bring a unique perspective. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. We also have additional interviews at cdomagazine.tech, so please take a look. And again, thanks again, Scott, for your time today.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Andy, for having me.